I would go by the church, yeah.
We'll go by the church, okay? Good evening. We're going to be opening the Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 meeting of the Conservation Commission. I just want to announce that this meeting is being recorded by Area 58 and can be viewed on YouTube. The board has all 4 members present. We have no hearing scheduled. First item on our agenda and discussions and actions will be 91 Holmes Street. The question is whether or not it was going to be an NOI or an RDA. I just want to point out that an NOI was filed, and the agent and I, Caitlin, went out and took a look at the site, and we kind of determined that this should be an NOI. The site itself has got a lot of debris, in some in the wetlands, some within the buffer zone. I did send out a letter to the engineer requesting that when this matter gets on our agenda for a hearing, and prior to the installation of the siltation sock, that all of that debris be picked up by hand, and then anything beyond the siltation barrier, which are tires and more rubbish, be removed however they want to. So I just wanted to bring the board up to date on that. I think Caitlin agrees, and I did ask Paul to go out and take a look. Okay, so that should be an NOI. That is going to be scheduled for January 14th. Any questions? Next item on our agenda is 0 Monpont Street. We have a continuance pending for this for order of conditions, a special order of conditions, based on some revisions that need to be made to the plan. That has been continued also till January 14th, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. Next order of business is 314 Plymouth Street. This is an update on the enforcement order. This has been very complicated. Caitlin and I have spent some time on it. We're finding that one of the files is 0 to 314 Plymouth, one is 314 Plymouth Street. We did send out some enforcement requests. Is there anybody in the audience from Casco Engineering? Okay, no. We did receive an email from Larry Silva. I hope everybody had a chance to try to come up with some explanation as to what was going on, and it appears that notice of intents were filed. No orders of no certificate of compliance were filed for. We have 3, I think, Caitlin, notice of intents on this particular parcel from different entities. And we're just reviewing the plan, I'm finding that there's a big discrepancy in the wetlands line. So I think the best thing to do at this point, if the board so concurs, is to send them out in another letter with the new information that we have, and see if we can get some compliance there. The original email that came from Solar sort of indicated that the commission has no jurisdiction on the fill that's being deposited there. It's something that the Board of Health. I disagree, and I will put that in the letter. Any comments on that? Okay. Next order of business is 596 Monpont Street. This certificate of compliance. I believe that initially we had a partial, and we're looking to do a completed certificate of compliance. I believe Caitlin did a site visit today.
Yes.
I was out last week, and I believe that the site is in compliance. So I would be looking for a motion. Do we have that file?
Yes.
I would be looking for a motion to sign off with a complete certificate of compliance on 596 Monpont Street.
You want to do that?
Sure. I make a motion that we sign the certificate of compliance for 596 Monpont Street.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
It's 4-0.
Thank you.
But we gotta sign off on it.
Kathy and Ed was on the
Okay.
conservation. When I first started,
If you want to speak, you gotta go to the mic. Identify yourself, please.
Oh, yeah.
it's Bob D'Agostino from 596 Monpont Street. And I was just saying that Ed and Kathy started this project with me. back when we first started, do you remember
Yeah, it
that?
was a few years ago.
Yeah, it
Ago
was.
time.
Couple
And
of-
we cleaned up all the debris, you knew that, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a 4-year challenge,
Yes,
for sure. So this is the end of it.
Well, congratulations.
This is the end of it, hopefully.
yes.
Thank you.
No, no
You're
problem.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just so that you know, this order will be ready to be picked up, and then it has to be recorded at the registry deeds.
Yes, yep. I did the partial.
Okay, please make sure of this one.
We don't get it.
Thank you.
Good night. Oh, they-
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This goes in something. Don't give me more than one piece of paper. Excuse me. Next order of business is 111 River Street. We do not have anything to report on that. There's been no communication from the engineering company that's doing the project. We did send out, I believe, an enforcement order asking them to be here.
Correct.
They're not here. I did have a conversation this morning with the fire chief, and he did say that he has been out there. He needs to back out again, that there's a very large pile of metal debris. So I'm thinking that we should go out and do a site inspection next week, next Tuesday. But the board's gonna have to consider what sort of action to take at this point. The original order conditions was for a 2-week project, excavation about 3 feet deep. They've gone well beyond that. We witnessed screening plants, excavators. I believe there was a loader out there. I did find that there's been 3 incidences where they've blown up some UXOs and expended ordnance. But I did find out that they buried them and then blow them up, which was not part of the original order. So, I think we're gonna need some direction from the board, just which way to go. I mean,
I think if we've already sent them a letter and they've just not responded, we could send out a letter to have them cease and desist and just stop any activity until we can get out there, look at it, and decide what we're going to do after that.
okay, I don't have a problem with that. Anybody, any other comments?
No, I agree with you. I've been out twice on that site. They don't seem to communicate. No compliance at all.
Okay, then I'd be looking for a motion. Excuse me. I got this from the holiday in Halifax, It's freezing out there.
The Grinch was for cold?
The Grinch wasn't cold. The guy that was running the trailer was cold. I'd be looking for a motion to immediately issue a cease and desist on the project. I will take the initiative to have Peggy type it and deliver it as soon as possible, and we'll send them out by emails.
Send the email and certified mail.
I think a cease and desist should be hand delivered. We'll find someone there. And then we'll do a site visit. So, do I have a motion to immediately issue a cease and desist on the project?
I make a motion that we immediately send out a cease and desist on that project for 111 River Street.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, any more discussion? None, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0, that's unanimous. I'll work with Peggy in getting that drafted and get it delivered. Also, is next week, you're on next week, Christmas week is coming up very soon. Are you here next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can plan on.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay. When is Christmas?
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh, she's,
So yeah,
If
we'll
we're
figure
going
it
out
out.
Tuesdays, going
you'd
out
be the one in
Tuesdays.
the building, maybe.
I'm around.
Okay. So wait a minute, Christmas is
Oh, Wednesday.
on Wednesday. You have to work Saturday, Thursday?
I believe so. I don't think we get Christmas Eve off or the next day. So I think it's just Christmas.
Okay. Okay. Next item on our agenda is 266 Montponton Street. I'd like to have you take a look at the file. There's some pictures that were sent via email. I don't know if you got a chance to review them prior to the meeting. They in our, I just saw them here, so they're in. In the, yes, they're in our admin notes. They would be this. Did everybody get these pictures?
I believe I do.
Okay, I'll just kind of explain. I got an email late one, I think it was Tuesday. No, maybe it was a Wednesday. I got an email late Wednesday with some pictures, and I also supposedly sent a video, but I couldn't open it. This situation is 266 Montponton Street, the Thorndike property. And if you can see from the first picture, what's going to be this one?
Yep.
Okay. This is the property line. On the right-hand side of this would be Thorndike's property. On the left-hand side of this would be the PZ property. As you can see from that discolored water, and then you look further back, you can see the driveway. What had happened during that heavy rain event, I'm gonna have you go to picture number 3, which depicts the sock. And if you see here, where the stake is sticking out of the sock right there,
Yeah, it's
you'll see that this piping, which was piled up a few feet away during the heavy rain event, had gone over next to the sock. And then this material here was the silty material, just so everybody can see. This material here was the fill they brought in. And at this point here, there was so much fill brought in and so much water that it washed up and over the sock and into their property. And then the other pictures basically show how close they are working to the sock itself. There should have been some distance. I went out the next morning and looked at it, and then I met Caitlin there, I think the same morning, and showed her what was going on. We looked at everything else was there. They agreed to put a siltation barrier in that area, and they agreed to move all this material away from the sock. There should be at least a foot from the base of the sock over with no materials. So this was just poor excavation, I'm gonna say, that created this situation. And we're gonna keep monitoring it. Again, I went out today for a hot minute and I saw that they had a silt sock in this area and they still had some material there. Caitlin, I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
I think you covered it. You know, we instructed them to move everything to hopefully prevent the water from flowing into the other property, so I think.
On the other property, is there a house there or anything?
No, this is
Just land?
this is the only house that's near there, and this is the closest to the house. If you look at the first picture,
Yeah.
I mean, there's the driveway.
I see a couple cars. up there.
Yeah, I mean, the lot line runs right down the driveway. I mean, the back of this property it's got to be 6 or 7 feet off of their garage. We did walk the remainder of the silt sock in the back. That was fine. no one had gone anywhere near it. So it functioned the way that it's designed to be. This one, they just got over aggressive, they weren't paying attention. My thoughts are that we should get them on a letter, basically, and I gotta look at the order of conditions, that prior to any major rain event, that we get a photograph, and then it be inspected after a major rain event. So, and I think that's pretty much all we can do with that.
Did we talk to anybody from Thorndike, or you talked to somebody, obviously?
Yes, Eric,
Eric
I
was
don't want to check his, I don't want to mess up his name, but,
Yeah.
yeah, we did check in. They knew that we were coming. I spoke with Dave Estridge. Eric was there when we showed up, we went in with hard hats and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And he walked us around the site.
Yeah, because there's a huge pile of dirt piled up there, right? Also, is that this thing?
It's the big pile of dirt. That's not the dirt that caused the problem. That dirt is going on the inside of the foundation.
Yeah,
So they're in the middle of pouring it. They put all the dirt in first, and now they're pouring around it.
spreading it.
And then they'll spread it afterwards. This area here is the roadway in. And the material that they're using, and Caitlin and I spent some time, and I was showing her the difference in it. It's a silty material, and it's not what I would use there, but it's not my project. If it had been a gravel base without a lot more silt, we wouldn't have the problem. But that's up to the contractors, it's not up to us. So we'll keep an eye on that. 340 Plymouth Street, I believe that has been solved. I went out a couple times during the major rain event. Steve Haywood looked at that. If everybody doesn't remember that address, that's Mrs. Alger's. So I think that we've got that situation under control. There was no major ponding. It appeared that when they did the roadway, they've got all the water going the way that you suggested. So they're all going to the basins. So we've gotten rid of that problem.
Okay.
So unless something pops up, we'll take this off the agenda, continue on. 76 Pratt Street. Okay, I'm gonna have to defer this to you because I don't believe we've gotten any communication from Pratt Street.
We have not.
Okay, and did we send out enforcement letters for?
We did, so the situation on that is, like I've explained in priar meetings, originally we had thought it was 76, and it ended up, the cutting to the wetlands was on 0 Pratt. So I had sent out an enforcement order subsequent to that to 0 Pratt Street. And I also had sent an email to the owner of 76 just because I had a phone conversation with him. He said, I didn't do the cutting. I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on. So I said, if you could just send in writing, saying, you didn't do it. He never sent me anything, so I didn't get anything in that regard. But I have not heard back from 0 Pratt as well. And I don't believe I sent that certified mail. I just sent it regular mail.
Okay, so let's double check. Let's dot our i's and cross our t's. If the enforcement order has not been sent out by certified, then it needs to be sent out by certified.
Okay.
Request that they attend our next meeting. If they don't, then I think at that point we need to discuss some 21D fines. I mean, if we're getting absolutely nothing, and maybe at some point you gotta go by there, or if we get another heavy rain event, I don't know that anything went into the river or not.
Yeah, I haven't gone by since the heavy rain event, so maybe I can stop by.
Well, the water levels, I'm sure, have risen in that area.
Yeah, sure it is. Why don't we plan on, make sure our paperwork is in order,
Okay.
and then we'll plan on doing River Street and this one next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay?
That works for me.
Okay. Stormwater application. We spent a little time with Peggy on this, and I asked her to review the application and come up with some ideas as to what additional information she needs to put in. I did some research, and I found that some other towns are using the same application. Other other towns aren't. It didn't seem to be completely adequate, so we're still working on that with Peg. And
90 Redwood?
90 Redwood.
Under
I don't
other
know why.
business.
Is that, am I missing something here?
Looks like that was gonna be
Yeah.
to January 14th.
Is it, did I miss an idea?
No, it's on
It's
the,
under other business. Webby Engineering asked for it to be continued to January 14th meeting.
Okay, for some reason that did not make it to the
agenda.
agenda, but we'll acknowledge that there's been some issues with that. And just to point out, Caitlin and I went on a mission Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day it was.
Yeah, that was, that was Thursday last week.
Okay. And we went out and we took a look at 91 homes, because that wetlands we had a wetlands to the rear and we had the pond to the front. We did a site visit there and we mentioned that we're gonna ask that to be cleaned up. And we also went to this 90 Redwood, because there was a discrepancy in the line that the original botanist put in versus what our review person saw. And I think Caitlin and I agree with our review. For some strange reason, that line was, in some cases, 20 feet off. Why? I don't know. There's not a big impact on the project, because the only thing that's being proposed in there is removing the existing dwelling. So. But I believe there's a problem with the plan. There's something going on with the plan, I'm just not 100% sure.
Gotcha.
On 90 Redwood. Did anybody mention anything to you?
They didn't,
Okay.
so I'm not aware.
So we expect that to be in on January 14th.
Okay.
Okay. Last item on our agenda?
Oh, wait, are we at minutes for December 10th?
Yes, we do.
Do we
Okay,
continue
what I miss it?
those to the next meeting?
Oh, we're
They
gonna
weren't
continue.
completed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I read the first couple of sentences.
Oh, you're looking at the admin notes? Okay. I should.
Oh, that's,
Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to just continue the December 10th meeting minutes until January 14th.
Okay, I make a motion that we continue the December 10th meeting minutes to January 14th.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Okay.
4-0. Wow. It being 7:26, I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
I put a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.